Welcome to the deep dive, where we dig into your sources and try to find the most interesting stuff.
Yeah, you can think of it as like getting straight to the point, being well informed about the stuff you care about.
Exactly. And today's deep dive is brought to you by therealfl.co.uk. We're looking at a request you sent in about an upcoming League Two match.
Barrow AFC versus Doncaster Rovers on January 29th.
Right. Coming up pretty quick.
Yeah, and on the surface, it seems like kind of a simple one, but there are actually a few things that make this match maybe a little closer than people think.
Okay, so let's break this down then. Barrows are kind of mid-table right now, hoping to maybe make a late playoff push. They've got a new manager, Andy Wing.
Right.
Meanwhile, Doncaster, they're fighting for that automatic promotion to League One.
Absolutely. Big stakes for both these sides.
So high stakes, but I mean, we want to know what to expect.
Yeah, and we're predicting a Doncaster win, which might not be surprising.
Not even though they're
Still waiting.
Okay, so this is what I'm wondering. Why are they the favorites then?
Well, their recent form's been pretty impressive. 3 wins in their last 4 matches, including a really exciting FA Cup upset against Hull City.
Oh, wow.
Which is a championship side.
Okay, but isn't the FA Cup kind of known for having those upsets?
It is.
Does that win really show us how strong Doncaster is?
I think it does, actually, because the way they've been winning lately, it's all about absorbing pressure, and then they hit teams on the counterattack.
Interesting.
Really efficient in front of goal, and their expected goals, or XG, suggests they're creating some high-quality chances.
Okay, so they've got the attack, but Barrows are known for, they've got a knack for last-ditch defending.
They do.
Do you think Doncaster's luck could run out this match?
It's possible, especially since Barrow's new manager, Andy Wing, he really favors a high-pressing style, which could be a good way to disrupt Doncaster's passing game. If Barrow can win that midfield battle, they've got a real chance.
I mean, this is what I find so interesting. The stats are pointing towards Doncaster.
Yeah.
Something about Barrow, and especially with Wing, I feel like they might have a trick up their sleeve.
It's true. We shouldn't forget about Barrow's attack, though. They've been struggling a bit this season, 19th in the league.
So not expecting a ton of goals then?
Yeah, we're actually predicting under 1.5 goals for this match.
Wow, okay.
Both sides haven't been finding the back of the net easily lately.
But Barrow has a pretty good home record, right?
They do.
Would this be a good bet for someone who wants to back the underdog?
It could be. Home advantage definitely plays a part, and we've seen upsets happen before.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So we've talked about potential upsets, but there's one Doncaster player that I think we need to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Luke Molyneux.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's been on fire.
He has. He's definitely the one to watch. 2 crucial goals in his last 3 games.
Wow.
The equalizer against Hull in the FA Cup, and then the winning goal against Gillingham.
Clutch.
Talk about clutch. He's a vital part of Doncaster's success. And if you look at his stats, he has a really high XG rate.
What does that mean exactly?
Expected goals, basically. It means based on the quality of his shots and positioning, he's likely to score more goals than the average player.
So he's got a real knack for finding the back of the net.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Molyneux is the one to watch. But let's look back a little bit. How have these two teams played against each other in the past?
Well, Doncaster's really had Barrow's number this season.
Oh, really?
2 wins already, and they didn't even concede a goal.
Wow.
And overall, head-to-head, Doncaster has consistently come out on top.
Okay, so that has to give Doncaster a little bit of swagger going into this match.
For sure.
But remember, Barrow has that new manager, and they're coming off a huge win against Grimsby.
That's true. Yeah, that 3-0 win against Grimsby, they're a playoff contender.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something to consider. I mean, a new manager can really bring some energy, new tactics, and maybe that big win's a sign that things are starting to click for Barrow.
Okay, so maybe they're not as much of an underdog as we thought initially.
Right.
This could be a much closer match than it looks at first glance.
Yeah.
But I think to really understand this, we need to look at the probable lineups.
Right.
Because that's where we see the tactics come to life.
Okay, so let's start with Barrow. We're thinking Paul Farman in goal, back 4 of Louis Deroux, Tyrell Warren, Niall Canavan, and Keon Spence.
Okay.
In midfield, Ben Jackson, MJ Williams, and Robbie Gotts pulling the strings. And then up front, the attacking trio of Kieran Phillips, Tom Smith, and Billy Waters.
Solid lineup, especially after that win. What about Doncaster then? Who are they bringing?
Doncaster is looking pretty strong as well. We're predicting Jonathan Mitchell and goal defensive line of James Brown, Joseph Followay, George Edmondson, and Charlie Seaman.
Okay.
Midfield, we should see Harrison Biggins, our player to watch, Luke Molyneux,
Of course.
and Kyle Hurst providing that creativity and attacking threat.
Yep.
And then up front, George Miller leading the line with Rio Griffiths and Tom Anderson supporting him.
So two well-organized sides, both with some firepower. Anything jumping out at you about these lineups?
Well, it's interesting that Barrow's new manager, Wing, he seems to be keeping a pretty similar formation to the previous manager.
Oh.
But with a few key changes in personnel,
Yeah.
that win against Grimsby could be a sign that he's found a winning formula, at least for now.
Yeah.
And for Doncaster, it looks like they're going with their tried-and-true formation with Molyneux as that key player in attack.
Makes sense with his recent
Well,
form.
Exactly. They'll be relying on his pace, his goal scoring to try and unlock Barrow's defense.
So, I mean, if you were placing a bet right now, which way would you lean?
It's tough, but as we said, we are predicting a Doncaster win.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't count out Barrow. They're at home. They've got that new manager who seems to be having a positive impact, and they're coming off that big win.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, it is. It's why League Two is so exciting.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. But I will say, if you're looking for value, that under 1.5 goals prediction might be worth a look.
Okay.
Both teams haven't been scoring a ton of goals lately, so a tight, low-scoring match wouldn't be a surprise.
That's a good point. And for those who like a little more risk, a Luke Molyneux anytime goal scorer bet is pretty tempting with those odds.
Yeah, it is. But as always with betting, gamble responsibly and stay within your limits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there you have it, a deep dive into Barrow AFC versus Doncaster Rovers.
Yep.
A match that looks like a clear win for Doncaster on paper.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some interesting things that could make it a much closer contest.
Right. It's going to be a really interesting match, that's for sure. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a new chapter written in this head-to-head.
Okay, so before we wrap up, any final thoughts for our listeners? Something to think about as they're watching this match.
Okay, well, here's one. Keep an eye on how Barrow's new manager, Wing, sets up his defense against Doncaster's attack.
Okay.
Will he try to shut down Molyneux specifically, or will he go for a more zonal approach?
Interesting.
His defensive strategy could really be the key to an upset.
Excellent point. Something for you to watch out for. And as always, for more detailed analysis and insights, check out the full article on therealfl.co.uk.
Yeah, we've got all the details there.
Until next time, happy watching.
See you soon.
It's always those little details,
Oh, yeah. Football is a game of inches, as they say. And sometimes those decisions from the manager, that's what can really make a difference.
Okay, so final question then. Will Doncaster continue their dominance over Barrow? Will we see Molyneux score again? Or will Barrow and their new manager pull off a surprise upset?
Oh, it's tough to say. But I think it's going to be a really exciting match for League Two fans.
For sure. And, of course, if you want even more detail, you can find our full article on therealfln.co.uk.
We've got all the information you need right there.
Until next time, happy watching.
See ya.